Hi, Flosstube. Welcome back. This is episode number 5 on this channel, which is I Practice Stitchcraft. I'm Nicole, and this is a channel about cross stitch. I am excited to see you guys again. I am fighting a little bit of the Sunday scaries, so I thought maybe a floss tube and a little adult beverage, some Bailey's Irish Cream, might scare some of those Sunday scaries away. I love my job. I do. It just isn't the same as it usually is with virtual teaching and hybrid teaching, and it's a beast, and it's just, like everyone else in the pandemic, not really what I signed up for, so we're just kind of making it through at this point. On the note of COVID, I got my second vaccine since the last time I recorded. So I am fully vaccinated now. I did notice with the second shot, for those of you who haven't gotten them yet, a few things. I had the Pfizer shot. I had a lot of arm pain, more so than I did with the first one. It kind of hurt up into my neck and my jaw and like around my back. I did get a little bit of shivers and body aches, but nothing terrible. Some people had worse reactions than I did. Mine were there and they kind of came and went, so not too terrible. I also wanted to update you. I decided not to participate in March Madness. I had mentioned that I might do that in my last update. I really wanted to. I just feel like it bit off more than I can chew with the number of cells. Stitch-alongs, for those of you who don't know that acronym. And there was just no way for me to keep up and do March Madness. So I kind of let March Madness go, which is giving me serious FOMO now that it's here. I'm loving voting on everybody's things and seeing everybody's updates on Instagram. I am on Instagram, same username as here. But I kind of wish I was doing my own bracket too. So like those of you who've been stitching, I've been stitching for less than a year still. Those of you that have been stitching for longer than that, how do you do it? How do you work in your stitch-alongs and the games and March Madness and all these special events that go on and keep on top of, your kind of everyday normal stitching that, not falling behind on your sals and such? How do you do it? What's the method? Teach me your ways. I also, in Michelle Bendy Stitchy's last Flosstube, she was talking about wanting to see old finishes, people's old finishes they wanted to share, and things that maybe were important to them. I do not have a ton of old finishes. Like I just mentioned, I've been stitching for less than a year now. I do not have a ton of old finishes, but I did grab the very first finish, the thing that kind of got me started on cross stitch. I had ordered a kit from Amazon, May of 2020, for something to do during the pandemic, something to keep me occupied. I searched around. I found one I really liked. I liked the colors and the style. And so I bought the kit and taught myself how to stitch using YouTube tutorials. And I pulled this out and I had to chuckle because looking at it, it's really a mess. But I'm really proud of, having gotten my first project completed and framed. So this is my very first cross stitch. It's the Swiss Alps. It was like awesome cross stitch or something like that online. So if you look closely enough at it, you can see that I did strange things like right here. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but I randomly crossed my stitches the opposite way, right towards the center where I started. I've got all kinds of things where I, like, again, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but I did like some half stitches. I just never crossed them the other way. If you can see it right there. But some more of those over here in the blue mountain. You can see them better, I think, in that color. But it reminds me of the last place I was able to travel before the world shut down. I went on a trip to Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. So this reminds me of that. And I'm pretty proud of it because even with all the mistakes and all the miscountings, and there are many in here, there's a lot of fudging that make this piece uniquely mine. I did it from start to finish, and I taught myself, and this was the start of the obsession. So, Michelle, that one's for you. Pulling out the old finishes. This is a really cool frame. This person is not in business anymore, but you can see in here, it's a hoop. It's a frame that's built to, no judging the back of this. It's a hoop that's nestled in here. And then this piece just goes on top of it. And it clamps down. And that's that. So, first ever finish in cross stitch. First ever start and first ever finish. Looking down at my notes here, I'm not trying to look away from you guys. FOs and FFOs, which is finished objects and fully finished objects. So a finished object is a cross stitch where you're done with the stitching part. Fully finished object is something like this where it's ready to hang or be put up, or, you know, sometimes they're pillows, whatever the case might be. It will not shock you. I don't have any. That's life in the newbie cross stitch world. I do have some whips for you, though. I had a computer issue. I may or may not still have access to the pictures I took of where my whips were. Oh, guys, whips is works in progress. If I forget to tell you what an acronym is, I'll try to type it on the screen for you. But these are projects I'm still working on. I take pictures and I save them on the computer. I had a little bit of a computer issue, so I'm currently on a borrowed computer. If I have access to those pictures of where I was when you last saw the work, I'll insert them. If I don't, I won't. Funny how that works. Oh, for those of you wondering, Luna her cage is open, but she's currently in her cage playing with her toys. So she may or may not make an appearance in this video. It's likely. I went down the shore for overnight last night and I left her here. I have plenty of food and water, and I came back this afternoon. She was alone for less than 24 hours. So she will very likely be looking for attention in a moment, but right now she's very happy to be playing with a toy made of straws in her cage. So we'll see if she comes to join us. All right. Let's talk whips. First thing I have for you is the Stitching Book Club Sense and Sensibility Cell. I finished part 1. If I have, lost my words for a second there. I'm sorry. If I have a picture of where it was before, I'll put it here. But this is where it is now. Let me tighten this a little so you can see a little more clearly. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful pattern. So dainty and elegant. This needle minder here is from It's Charm School on Etsy. Allison Rosen is a crafty girl on Instagram. I'll link that Etsy below. She has really cute stuff. And she releases different things every week. And a lot of her stuff is very different than what you can find in some other shops, which is nice. She does a lot of things by hand. Like you can see she added paint and the gold stars and all of that to this shape. And it's just beautiful. So yes, this is part 1, all finished. Part 2 came out this weekend. I haven't started it yet, but the design kind of moves up around here. So I'll be working on that hopefully at some point this week. Trying to fill that in. But it's beautiful. I'm really enjoying this. And this is the called for DMCs. Sorry, I'm trying to get the right light here. I tried moving to a different spot in my house today because I kept having backlight issues where I was sitting. And now I'm having side light issues. So I'll get it right eventually. So this is 28 count Lugana, hand dyed by the designer. It came in a kit. She also, if you don't get this fabric, if you're interested in doing this, she has directions for how to dye it like this. She also has an alternate colorway that is available if you want to do it on white. She's made some adjustments to the thread colors so that you could recreate this pattern with a similar feel on white fabric. And it's the called for DMC because it came with the kit. So that's that. The kit also has this finishing material in it, and I'm really excited to see where that's going to go, what the suggestion is for finishing that. Next is the Dark Queen of the Sea. So I finished part 6. If I have where I left off last, you'll be seeing it here. This is by Autumn Lane Stitchery. I finished part 6 since we last spoke. Let's see. A little better. It's really cool. So part 6 was this kind of magic orb or a skull, depending on what you chose, and this magic kind of inky swirl around her. Part 7 was released on the 1st of this month, and I've been holding off on stitching it because I wasn't sure where I wanted to go with it. Like the other parts, this has a little bit of an option to it. Give me a second. I can pull that up so you can see what I'm talking about here. So this is part 7, one of the options. Whoops. Okay. So you can see it adds it adds these corner frames and these kind of horn antler things in the crown. The other option on this, it's essentially the same, but the crown is sparkly and just slightly different because of the different material that's used on it. So where I stand on this, there's a lot of people that are this part has caused some controversy on the Facebook group. There's a lot of people who seem to have issues with, sorry guys, there we go, these corner pieces. I don't mind them. I think they're nice. I think they frame the piece out very well. One of the things that Aaron pointed out in his and Cassandra's Flosstube is that if you look down here, it's kind of matching this border with like that hard corner on the coral there. So I'm into the frame. What I'm not super into for myself, and I think that I'm going to leave out, is the coral antlers or horns. You know, she has coral all over her body. They're not like completely out of the blue. You can see, this might be easier if I show you on the actual project. You can see she's got coral on her shoulders, her elbows, her wrist. She's got these like coral coming out of her hips here. So they're not like completely random. I just don't love the look of them. And Aaron is very much about people doing what they want with their projects. So I think for the first time, I'm going to go a little off script with this one, with this part. I'm going to put the corner pieces in. I'm going to do that. I'm going to give her a crown, but not the one that is charted. Someone was kind enough to share a chart for a different version of the crown. So I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to change the colors a little bit. You can see that this person, they have a lot of red choices they've made for their project. It's beautiful. I don't have a ton of red in mind, so I'll do different colors, but I think I'm going to take this chart and put a crown on her head and not do the antlers. So kind of staying in the vision of the piece, giving her a crown, framing out the corners, but not using the exact crown that's in there, and not having the horns. So that's where she is. She's so cool. So this is a 12 part. So this is halfway done. I know the last part, according to what they've said, is going to be the part where we add the beads and the bling and such. So I think there's only stitching up to part 11. So that is the Dark Queen. Oh, Autumn Line Stitchery. It is all the called for colors, except I did the expansion pack. They sold some different colors for her hair. I did that. I used their Etoile suggestion on the magic part, but everything else is called for. And the fabric is Bewitched. This is a 28 count linen. It is by Under the Sea Fabrics. Leslie dyed it for this project, so it was made for the Dark Queen of the Sea. And when we talk about having a second option, she's stitching the second option. So one of the options is being stitched by Aaron's wife, Cassandra, and one of them is by Leslie from Under the Sea fabrics. Next is Marshmallow World. This is my Merry 25 or Jolly 25 or whatever it is. Also, hashtag Marshmallow World Sal that Rolodex started, Carla at Rolodex Stitches. I have the picture available. I'll insert it here. This is where I am. This line here again. This is where I am. Got a little start on that first ornament there. What I've decided to do, because this border it's a lot of checkerboard. I add one pink thread, one white thread, and then whatever time I have left, I move on and work on the design inside the frame. Because I got to take that frame in bits and pieces. This is what it will look like when it's done. So you can see this is from Sugar Stitches. I am stitching this on 32 count Lugana. It is a Zweigart and it is light taupe. And all the DMCs are the called for in the pattern. I have one more whip for you. One more whip. And that is Dreaming Girl by Barbara Anna. Again, if I have where I left off, which was I had finished part one. I don't know if I had started part two yet. If I have a picture, it'll be here for you. Let me open the Q-snap on this one so you can actually see her. All right, here's where she is. Oops. Here's where she is so far. All right. So part one was the massive part was it was stitching her and her hair. Part two, which is spring, was the flowers down around her face. And I just really like the way they came out. They're so simple, but so, there we go. They're so simple, but so effective. And part three is summer, and that's this top part here. I'm not done with it. It goes all the way across her hair. The fishes get filled in. So I have to finish up part two. But I'm absolutely loving her. I get the Barbara Anna obsession these days. This is a mix of called for and non-called for. It's mostly called for. The things that I changed, it is the called for fabric, which is, let me double check so I can give you the right information here. 32 count Murano blue, or 32 count Murano in blue azure. There we go. Most of this is the called for DMC. Things I changed, this lighter side of her face, I didn't have the called for DMC. I went one lighter on the DMC color card. It's a little too light for my taste, but I'm not taking it out. The other thing I changed is the design that's in her hair. For some reason, the DMCs that I had for her hair in that design were two different numbers, but almost exactly the same in color. So I pulled just a random silk that I had in a dark brown for that. Everything else is what's called for on here. So she comes out every 2 weeks. And I believe I believe she's a 5-part. So I think there are 2 more, if I remember correctly. There's 2 more parts to come out after this one. Apparently they're the seasons, right? The flowers were spring, stuff on top of the hair summer. So I'm guessing we're going to get fall and winter next. So those are my whips. I again did not get any work in on my Broadway Sal, which is breaking my heart. Because I really, really do want to work on that. I also didn't get any work in on the project that I'm doing, Though She Be But Little, for my friend who's having a baby. I can't keep up with the Sals and the other stuff. Let me see. I'm trying to find it so I can show you, because part 3 came out. Let's see. If I can find it. Oh, the email. I can't seem to find the attachment though. I think my iPad's being a little funky. Come on. Here we go. Looking in the wrong spot. So as I said, it's spelling Broadway. So we had the B was meant to represent Les Mis. It had some Les Mis things on it. The R was for rent. And the O is for Rocky Horror Picture Show. So I really do want to get into that because I think it's going to be super, super cool. I need to be able to be independently wealthy and just spend my day stitching and not earning a living, apparently. So that's everything for whips. What are my plans? They're pretty loose. I'm going to continue voting on everyone's March Madness plans because that has been super duper fun. I'm going to finish part 3 of Dreaming Girl. Hopefully I'll finish that today. I'm hoping I can finish that today. Maybe not. I want to do part 7 of The Dark Queen, and I already showed you how I think I'm going to mess with that a little bit. I need to do part 2 of the Stitching Book Club Sense and Sensibility chart. Like I said, I would like to work on my Broadway Sal, but that seems unlikely at this point. I'll also pull out my Dark 13 stitching between now and when I see you next, which is Lila's Studio Halloween Quaker. So that'll have some work in it by the time I see you next. One day, if not more, Michelle is doing like a stitch with me on Zoom for that. You know, price of admission, you have to be working on or starting that particular project. It's the idea is that everyone is getting together to work on the same project. So if she has another stitch with me, I might get a little extra time on that project. I completely forgot to join the last one. I had the link sent to me and I just spaced. I should probably also try to stitch the birth sampler for my friend's baby. Yeah. All right. Let's talk haul. I think it was relatively good in the last 2 weeks. Well, not really, because some of the stuff is market new releases, so I don't have them yet. I did some pre-ordering, things like that. So, but what I have to show you, not too much. Well, the first thing is my bag of the month from Rika at House of Stitch and Stash. I'll link her below. I don't think she has any openings in her club right now. You can do this one, which is the large bag. And she also has like a midi bag size. She sells these through her Facebook page, which is, I think, House of Stitch and Stash Stitchers. Say that 5 times fast. But her work is impeccable. And she kind of does a little bit of a theme for each month. So this was the February bag of the month. So it kind of has that red and pink Valentine's feel. Has a nice thick vinyl on the front. This is her tag. It's actually on the inside of the vinyl. And it's quilted on the back. They're very sturdy. They have handles, which I'm learning I really like in a bag. And she just has this impeccable sense of color and texture and fabric. Very often I'm very picky and I like this bag and not the other of designers. Pretty much every bag she puts together is right up my alley. She posted a preview for March's that is like a kind of gray and yellow floral motif that's out of this world. So you can follow her at House of Stitch and Stash on Instagram. She also has Flosstube. And you can find the link to her Facebook group on her Instagram. That might be the easiest way to get there. And then you can stay updated for when she has openings in her club, because they're not cheap, which is fine. I have no problem paying for the beautiful material and craftsmanship of these bags. Like, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but just look at the stitching on that. Like, the level of perfection of that stitching is just out of control. So that was one of my bigger pieces of haul for this month. Someone else I want to talk to you guys about, actually ended up talking about her a little bit earlier on, is It's Charm School, which is the name of the Etsy shop. Again, I'll link it below. Who is Allison Rosen is a crafty girl on Instagram. Same person. I ordered some needle minders from her. I love her needle minders. And I just kind of wanted to show you a little bit. Make sure I keep my address covered here. I just want to show you a little bit of the packaging, because she really does beautiful packaging for her needle minders too. So when you get a package from her, I've gone through this already, so it's a little messier than what she actually sends. So just bear that in mind, because I wanted to see these before I showed them on here. So you get this box. It has her little sticker on it. And then every needle minder is individually packaged in the box with some of the confetti stuff. So every needle minder you get comes in its own cute little envelope. And this is the back of the needle minder. Her needle minders have flowers on the back so that you can get because the needles are really strong. This helps you get a grip of them to pull them off the back. So they come in these little Velcro sealed envelopes. This is one of the ones I received. It's really cute mermaid tail. You see how shiny that is? Oh yeah, the light's getting that. Really cute mermaid's tail. Like I said, the back of the magnet has the flower on it, and you can hear that. It's a nice strong magnet. And they're like solid. They're not heavy, but you can tell they're like quality material. So that was one of the ones I ordered. Guys, she just released a whole bunch of Friends ones, like TV show Friends. I'm really on the struggle bus not to buy them all. Oh, this one is appropriate too. So this one was in this envelope. I'm going to show that to you first. This one's appropriate for today. I've got my Hufflepuff sweatshirt on from back when I used to be able to go to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter before the world shut down on us. It's a little Hufflepuff robe. And again, it has a little flower on the back. The third one that I got from her, so all the envelopes are a little different. They're all super cute. Because I'm also a little bit of a Disney freak, is Cinderella's carriage. It's nice and shiny. Super cute. And then when you order from her, oh, I forgot. I had one more thing. A lot of the, this is the packaging of this one. I think you saw this packaging. A lot of the things that she makes, she can make into multiple notions. She'll make them into scissor fobs or bag charms, or this one, this little bumblebee, which is a tail tucker. So she has a video on her Etsy shop that shows you how these work. Hi, Chicky Boo. You come say hi to your friends? You come say hi to your friends? No? I think she's afraid if she comes near me, I'm going to put her back in her cage. See if I can do this. I need to get my nails trimmed. They're too long. This is not the fault of the product. This is the fault of my nails. So you can run this under your stitches on the back of your project. When you have a tail when you have to tuck something that's a little too, when you've played thread chicken, you have like no space left. Normally you can use your needle to do this and it's much easier. Here we go. Or if your nails don't need a good trim. And then it opens and you can tuck the thread into here and then pull it back through. So a lot of her things that could be needle minders or counting pins, she will also offer as tail tuckers, which I think I'm going to find to be a very handy tool because I very much am a master at thread chicken. Or having to pull stitches out and not having a lot to put back under once I fixed whatever mistake I made. And then she also sends always a whole bunch of like stickers and cute little things if you journal. These aren't stickers, but you could stick them Apparently, I have the complete inability to show these to you. You know, if you journal, if you put your cross stitch in a journal, or if you are someone who likes a day planner with stuff in it, she gives you a lot of these cute little things you could stick on there with a little bit of glue or tape. So you always get that little extra bonus with your order from her. Feeling this one? Nope. So I've ordered from her a couple times and I have never been disappointed. So that is It's Charm School on Etsy. Next is my fabric of the month from Bee Stitch Me. I get a 40 count even weave, and I am in her color club. She has like a neutral and a color. I'm in the one for the colors. So this is the February fabric. It's called Peony. I'll leave it in half so the light doesn't mess with it too much. It's kind of this pinkish, purpley mottled fabric. It's a very light modeling. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. It's a very light modeling. I think it'll be really pretty for, I don't know, maybe just because it's called Peony, but I automatically like picture something kind of floral on this. All right. I also, I don't have any floss to show you. I changed floss clubs. I left the one that I was in, and I joined, I say 3 Out Threads this day, maybe. And I joined for Color and Cotton, not Color and Cotton. I have that club also. I joined for Classic Colorworks and Gentle Art through her, and I canceled my other one. I actually had 2. I canceled my my one for Weeks Dye Works and the other one I had, and switched to that instead. So that's a little bit of a change in my haul. And then the last bit of haul that I have actually relates to the trip I was talking about, my Germany, Switzerland, and Austria trip I was talking about at the beginning. I was scrolling through Instagram, as you know, we all have a tendency to do. And there was a lady standing there with, you know, in the foreground with her beautiful piece of cross stitch. But she had all these things hung up cross stitch behind her. And I saw a cross stitch behind her that I was like, immediately, I have to have that. Have to have it. So I went to the Google because I had to find it. Turns out it was a Reolist kit, which I bought a few dimensions, but no Reolist. So I was able to order this directly from Joanne Fabric. And it is Neuschwanstein Castle in Germany. This castle actually is what started the whole trip my sister and I went on. My sister was fully obsessed with this castle growing up. It was like a bucket list item for her to see. And I always wanted to see it too, just I guess because I grew up with her fascination with it. For all my Disney friends, this is also the castle that Walt Disney based Cinderella's castle on. You can see that a little bit in the turrets and stuff here. And it's in the mountains of Germany, and it's absolutely stunning. It's exactly what you want it to be. It's so storybook. But this was built by Crazy Prince Ludwig, which if you can look that up a little bit, he's an interesting character. He built this castle. You can actually see his other castle from this one. You should kind of look it up. he's interesting. So Neuschwanstein, question about this for people who have worked realless kits before. I actually open this one. Usually I leave them closed until I'm ready to stitch with them. But I opened this one because it looked different to me. Can you tell me, with this thread that they use, which appears to be maybe more of a wool than like the cotton DMC, it looks like it's 2 threads, but do you pull them apart, or when you take the thread off the card, do you just like stitch with it as it is? Or do you separate it the way you would a DMC? I'm leaning towards that you keep it together, but the directions in here really don't specify. They'll say 1 strand or 2 strands, but it doesn't particularly specify how you use that. So just interested to check. It also, the pattern is a little bit different than what I'm used to seeing. Let me see if I can show you a little bit without fully showing you the pattern here. Okay. You're going to see a little bit of the pattern, but this is like 1/8 of it. So if you can put it together from this, good on you. It doesn't just have symbols and then the number. It has the symbol, what stitch you're supposed to do, like a full cross versus like half crosses or back stitching. It tells you what number on the card it is, and I'm guessing these are blended ones then. The directions aren't super clear. They definitely, it's not an English first language kind of situation, which is fine. I have no problem with that. Oh, they're woolen and acrylic yarns, by the way. I have no problem with that. It just, the wording isn't always as clear as it would be otherwise for me as an English speaker. So it tells you which number on the cards and then how many strands of that number to use. So it's a little bit different than a traditional color key. I would like to do this on Pattern Keeper. So if anyone knows, it's, I'm gonna flash this to you real quick just to end upside down. It's like 2 pages of that, like 2 like poster pages. So how do I go about getting this onto Pattern Keeper? Any ideas? I would be grateful for the suggestions. Hi, Chicky Boo. I don't know if you can hear her. She's over there talking to us. Hi, Chicky Boo. That's it for haul. Featured Flosstuber this week. I've talked about her before, but not as featured Flosstuber, so I wanted to bring her back up. Athena at Stitching Goddess on YouTube. I love her stuff. She has really, really cool projects, in my opinion. Similar, we have some like overlap in our tastes, which I think is very interesting to me. I find her stuff very enabling. She's doing a really cool version of March Madness right now too. She's got 2 different brackets, and I'm not even going to try to explain to you, but she talks about it in, I think, her last 2 videos. So you can go check it there. She's really great. Clearly, I like Harry Potter. She likes to do little, she also likes Harry Potter. She shows like some of the cool little like memorabilia type things she gets for Harry Potter. I also find that just as enabling as the cross stitch. Athena, I'm looking at you, that mug that I just had to buy because you had it. Yeah. So she is Stitching Goddess on Instagram, or on Facebook, I meant to say, and YouTube. She sells really cool cross-stitch t-shirts with like different sayings, and she has just started getting into bags a little bit. I showed a bag on my last video. She has a new one available right now. And on Instagram, she is Athena X Stitches. So I'll link her below as well. If you're not already watching her, get on it. You'll enjoy it. So I'm going to end with my quote. I really thought today was going to be a faster one. Here we are at almost an hour, as per usual. So I'm going to wrap it up. Hope you guys have a great stitchy 2 weeks. And I'm going to end with a quote as I normally do. This is a quote I like to tell my students. You know, middle schoolers like to, you know, there's very much what is the norm, what is not the norm. So I always tell them, you have to be odd to be number one. Happy stitching, my flossy friends.